Hello viewers, let's enter into day 7 online classes. Now I am going to recapitulate the topics that we completed in last classes. In digestive system of human being, we finished about number of roots that present in our teeth yesterday, and the lymphatic tissue associated with pharynx that also completed, that also called Walde's ring, and the parts of alimentary canal that seated from mouth to anus along the length of the alimentary canal. Whatever parts are present in detail, their characteristic features learnt along with the diagrams. Right, next today we are going to discuss about histology of human gut. Histology, anatomy of the alimentary canal, histology of the human gut. Today we are going to discuss. If we observe wall of alimentary canal, the wall of alimentary canal contain various kinds of parts from mouth to anus. If we observe the wall of gut from esophagus to rectum, it shows uniform organization. It constructed with 4 layers. The wall of alimentary canal made up of with constructed with 4 basic layers, from outside to inside, from surface to deeper, from outside to inside. They are as follows. You observe, first one is serosa layer, next muscularis layer, and submucosa and mucosa layer. Followed, the wall of gut include 4 layers. From outside to inside, they are serosa layer, muscularis layer, and submucosa layer, and mucosa layer. Followed. Right. Next, in detail, we are going to discuss about each and every layer. You observe the visual. In this visual, in different color, the layers are mentioned from outside to inside. You see, serosa layer, the uppermost layer it is. This is uppermost layer. And muscularis layer, orange color and bluish color layer, that is. Next, submucosa, represented with orange color, and mucosa layer, innermost layer. These are the 4 variant layers that present in the wall of the gut. So now serosa layer. Yes, what is serosa layer? It is the outermost layer of the gut. You see this visual. So on outside, brown color layer is present. So that is serosa layer. It is formed by squamous epithelial lining. So if we observe the serosa layer, it is a visceral peritoneum. What is visceral peritoneum? The coelom enveloped by mesodermal germinal layer towards outside and as well as gut side. Whatever mesodermal layer present towards gut side, that is serosa layer, remember. So hence it is considered as visceral peritoneum. It is formed by mesothelium. It is formed by the squamous epithelium. It also termed as mesothelium, squamous epithelium, and as well as a little bit of areolar connective tissue. It is a tough layer, so hard layer, so contain areolar connective tissue along with the squamous epithelium. Followed. Right. Next, other properties of serosa layer. You observe it is the inner coelomic epithelium lining. Already I told the coelom externally lined up with parietal layer and internally lined up with visceral layer. So that internal layer, visceral layer, nothing but serosa layer. So it envelopes inner surface of the coelom. Hence serosa layer also termed inner coelomic epithelium. Remember, ask in entrances. So it is the inner coelomic epithelium. And one most important thing here, one more important thing here, the serosa layer uh, absent in esophagus. At the place of serosa layer, of course, at the place of serosa layer, mesodermal lining connective tissue layer is present. That termed as adventitia externa. So this is most important ask in entrance examination. From stomach to up to rectum we found serosa layer, but in case of esophagus at the place of serosa we found adventitia externa. Followed. Right. Next, second layer. Beneath the serosa layer, muscularis layer is present. You observe the name term muscularis. Muscularis means muscle. So this layer exclusively formed by muscles. Generally, the visceral organ made up of is smooth muscles, involuntary muscles. So here also, in alimentary canal also, gut also, the muscularis made up of with smooth muscles. You verify this visual clearly. Red color, reddish color bundles are there, you observe. That bundles are muscle bundle. Smooth muscle bundles they are. Smooth muscles formed with smooth muscle. So muscularis layer followed. Right. The muscularis layer formed by smooth muscles, and it differentiated as two layers according to organization of the muscle fiber based on nature of arrangement of muscle fibers. The muscle fibers, smooth muscle fibers are spindle in shape according to their allocation arrangement. This muscularis layer again differentiated as two layers. So the first one is outer longitudinal muscle layer. So the allocation is the muscle fibers are arranged along the length of the alimentary canal as longitudinal fashion. Hence, according to allocation, it is called longitudinal muscle layer. And next, inner side circular muscle layer. So, beneath it, the muscle fibers are allocated as circular fashion, means around the alimentary canal, circular fashion. So, on contraction of these longitudinal and circular muscle layer, the functional property changes. So, for example, on contraction of longitudinal muscle layer, the length will be decreased. On contraction of circular muscle layer, the diameter will be decreases. So, to change various functions, to assist various functions, the muscle fibers are allocated as two layers. The first layer, uppermost layer, is longitudinal muscle layer. The next layer is beneath layer is circular muscle layer. If we observe stomach, in case of stomach, besides these two sheaths, besides these two layers, we found one more sheath also, one more layer additional in case of stomach. In case of stomach, three layers are present. They are same as usual longitudinal and circular. Beneath it, additional one more oblique muscle layer executed. Follow student. So the third layer we found in stomach, that is oblique muscle layer in muscularis. It is absent in other parts like small intestine, large intestine. But in case of stomach, additionally one more third layer oblique muscle layer is present. You observe this visual. Three sheaths clearly found uppermost longitudinal and arrangement you observe. In longitudinal muscle layer, the muscle fibers along the length of the stomach, circular around the stomach, oblique fashion. So these are the three layers that executed in the wall of the stomach. Followed. Right. What is the use of oblique muscle layer? Why the stomach attained this oblique muscle layer other than other parts of the alimentary canal? Just you imagine. Why? Because in the stomach, whatever we consume the food, the first food material enter from esophagus to stomach and retain approximately 3 to 4 hours in our stomach. In this core, the food material first break down into micromolecule uh, due to the churning movements. That churning movements are facilitated by oblique muscle layer. So because you observe this visual, in this visual the oblique muscle layer clearly represented in transverse section. You see the upper red color layer is longitudinal, middle circular, and third one oblique muscle layer. So why the oblique muscle layer additional in stomach? To perform the churning movements, to facilitate the churning movements in stomach, the oblique muscle layer is additional. You observe this visual. In what way the stomach showing the churning movements, the food material, when food material enter into stomach, it crushes the food material. The churning movements extends from anterior end to posterior end direction. So this is churning movements of the stomach that facilitated by the muscle layer. To perform powerful churning movements, additional layer is present. With this we completed muscularis layer. Next third layer is submucosa layer. Submucosa layer is present beneath the muscularis. You observe this visual. In this visual, the white color, brown color layer is present. White color represented with the arrow. So that is submucosa layer. The submucosa layer contain loose connective tissue. The submucosa layer contain loose connective tissue. So connective tissue, it holds the various kinds of structures. In the same manner, you observe this submucosa. What things did you observe? White color submucosa bundle is there. In that bundle, what did you see? So in submucosa layer, we found various kinds of structures. They are nerves, yellow color fibers are there. They are nerves. Nerves are accommodated, and it is highly vascularized layer. Blood vessels also accommodated in this layer. You observe whatever blood vessels, capillary network going to enter into the wall of alimentary canal, such vessels terminates in submucosa. The submucosa accommodates all these blood vessels, arteries, and veins. So it is highly vascularized layer. Among the four layers, you remember the wall of gut. Which layer of wall of gut is vascularized? Completely, purely, highly vascularized layer is submucosa layer, and lymph vessels also present. Let's discuss the last and final innermost layer, that is mucosa layer. The mucosa layer is completely innermost layer. You observe this visual. This is a mucosa layer. Why such name given to it? The mucosa layer, mainly whatever lining, epithelial lining consent to mucosa layer, that contain abundant goblet cells. That goblet cells secretes mucus. Mucus is a sticky liquid that keeps that mucus. Goblet cell secretes mucus and forms a layer along the inner surface of the alimentary canal that prevents the action of enzymes on our alimentary canal. So that is a protective layer. It forms a protective layer. The mucus, goblet cell secretes mucus and that forms a protective layer along the inner surface of the alimentary canals. Due to the presence of abundant goblet cells, due to secretion of mucus in this layer, with this layer, the layer named as mucosa. It is the innermost layer. And next, you observe this visual, and it contains three layers. Again, the mucosa layer contains three layers. The first one is muscularis mucosa, second one lamina propria, and third one loose connective tissue. So in this visual, all these are clear, and columnar epithelium present. So muscularis, you observe, it contains three layers: muscularis mucosa, lamina propria, and columnar epithelium. The lamina propria made up of with loose connective tissue. So observe this visual. The red color sheath is muscularis mucosa. Beneath it, white color lamina propria, and inner pink color columnar epithelium. So three layers are there. Among three layers, the muscularis mucosa formed by muscles, lamina propria with loose connective tissue, and innermost layer formed by columnar epithelium. If we observe the mucosa lining, the innermost layer of mucosa contain columnar pillar-like epithelial cells. The pillar-like epithelial cells contain this mucosa layer gave rise what foldings. You observe these foldings. Some foldings are extended towards the lumen of alimentary canal. Lumen means the empty space present inside the gut. So some of the foldings extended towards the lumen of the gut, and some of the folds towards the submucosa. You observe the visual. This, the first one ejected towards the lumen, and you observe this one extended towards the submucosa. According to functional variation, the invagination, evaginations are there. So the mucosa layer gave rise foldings. Some foldings are towards the lumen and some foldings are towards submucosa. Follow, students? Yes. Right. Next, now we are going to discuss in detail about foldings of mucosa layer. The foldings towards the lumen are called gastric rugae in stomach. In stomach region, the same foldings named as rugae, gastric rugae. The same kind of foldings that present in intestine, that seated in intestine, called villi. The names are different, you remember, child. So gastric rugae restricted to stomach. Gastric, stomach also called gaster. Already I told in previous classes. So gastric rugae restricted to stomach, villi restricted to intestine. Asked in entrance examination. So rugae and intestine both are foldings of mucosa layer towards lumen site. Remember. And next towards submucosa site. You observe. What is the use of foldings that seated towards submucosa side? So towards submucosa side accommodates the glands. For example, in case of stomach, gastric glands are there. In case of the small intestine, crypts of Lieberkühn are present. So in detail in next class we will discuss what are crypts of Lieberkühn, what are intestinal glands, what are gastric glands. That will be learned in digestive glands topic. So the towards whatever foldings present towards some mucosa side, they accommodates the gland. One more information to you. Are you here about Brunner glands? The Brunner glands are restricted to duodenum. They are seated in submucosa. So like that, here the inward foldings are there that accommodates the glands, and you observe the foldings of mucosal layer of gastric rugae clearly present in this visual. This is morphology upper surface, the foldings, and it is inner region. The foldings are appear like that. Right. Next, villi. In case of intestine, it is called villi. They are finger-like projections. You observe these two visuals. Finger-like projections. The surface lined by columnar epithelium, and if we observe their columnar epithelium, the columnar epithelium contain projections, microscopic projections, outward extensions of the plasma membrane is there. That microscopic projections are called microvilli. Remember, very important, the mucosa lining of the villi, the epithelial cells of the villi shows microscopic projections and attain brush border surface. So they also termed as brush border epithelial cells attain brush border surface. And the significance of this brush border epithelial cells, they are secretory in function. They secretes brush border enzymes. What are brush border enzymes? Saccharidases. What are comes under saccharidases? Example, lactase, sucrase, like that, fructase, maltase. All these are comes under saccharidases. Okay, so the brush border epithelial cells secretes brush border enzymes which involve in digestion. Remember, so the brush border epithelial cells nothing but the membrane of plasma membrane of epithelial cells gave rise numerous extensions, projections, microscopic projections by which they attain brush border surface. Now, besides that, you observe simultaneously visual, prominent blood vessels are there, capillary network is present. You observe this visual, blue color vessel, vein, red color vessel, artery, both artery and vein going to fuse. Where artery ends, from there vein capillary network starts, isn't it? So that capillary network is present in the lumen of the villi of intestine. Blood vessels are present, and as well as lymph vessels also present. Besides that, lymph vessels are present. The lymph vessels that present in villi called lacteales. Okay, so in this visual, green color vessel is there, so that is lacteal lymph vessels. And besides that, in small intestine submucosa, we found some significant structures. They are plicae circulares, very very important entrance point of view. It is most important. Plicae circulares. Generally, in lower classes, we learned the villi include blood vessels and lacteals. In additional, here we are learning one more information, that is plicae circularis. What are plicae circularis? Let us see this visual. In this visual, the surface of the mucosa membrane of villi, you observe it is appear completely different manner. You observe completely circular foldings are there. The mucosa membrane shows circular folds. That circular folds are called plicae circulares. The circular folds of mucosa membrane of the villi consider as plicae circulares. Followed students, what are you mainly you have to catch the term circulares, circular, plicae, circulares. So circular folds of mucosa called plicae circulares, and they also termed as walls of Kerckring. Very very important term. Further name it is these plicae circulares nothing but walls of Kerckring. So walls of Kerckring are abundant in jejunum. Mainly these are abundant in the jejunum. What is jejunum? In last class we discussed the small intestine contains three regions. The first region is duodenum, and second region is jejunum, and third region is ileum. So these walls of Kerckring are abundantly seated in jejunum region. Followed. Right, next, besides all these structures, if we verify the histology of alimentary canal, additionally we found the neural network. Why? Because our alimentary canal is a involuntary canal contain involuntary organs. That involuntary organs regulated by our autonomous neural system. Followed. Two divisions are there in autonomous neural system. One division is sympathetic neural system, another division is parasympathetic neural system. So the gut also, the wall of gut also include neural network that consent to parasympathetic network, and the parasympathetic network that associated with wall of gut is Arbax plexus. Remember, Arbax plexus. So that consent to parasympathetic, and one more network, that is sympathetic network. Sympathetic network. So it is Meissner's plexus. Followed. So two networks are seated in the wall of gut. They are parasympathetic network and sympathetic network. Parasympathetic network Arbac plexus, and sympathetic network Meissner's plexus. The function of the para and sympathetic network is completely different. On alimentary canal, the parasympathetic assists accelerative function and sympathetic reduced function. So in detail we will discuss in regulation, and as well as in nervous system also uh, we will discuss all these things. And the neural network you observe in this visual. So first, parasympathetic network, that is Arbax plexus. It is also called myenteric plexus. Arbac plexus also termed as myenteric plexus. You observe term myenteric, muscle. So this plexus, uppermost network that consent to, that seated in between the muscle layers. You observe this visual. The uppermost muscle layer longitudinal and inner circular. In between these two layers, black color neural network is there. That is myentic plexus concerned to parasympathetic neural system. Followed. So next, it's seated between longitudinal muscle layer and circular muscle layer. The neural network Arabic plexus you observe in this visual also. This is Arabic plexus. And next, subsequent network, sympathetic network, Meissner's plex. Sympathetic network actually excitatory network, but on alimentary canal it shows reduced function, reverse fashion. So in detail we'll discuss in next in subsequent classes. So next, sympathetic network is Meissner's plexus. It retained, it occupied in submucosa, hence it is called submucosal plexus, and it's seated between muscle layer and submucosa. Alright. So you observe this visual. Brown color sheath is there. That is submucosa. It's seated in submucosa, hence called submucosal plexus between muscle layer and mucosa lining. Between muscle layer and pink color you observe mucosa lining. What is present? Meissner's plexus network you observe submucosal plexus. So with this we completed the neural network that's seated in the wall of gut. Alright students, so what we learned, the neural network associated with gut, one is parasympathetic network and another one is sympathetic network. Parasympathetic network Arabic plexus and sympathetic network Meissner plexus. Arabic plexus for excitatory function and Meissner plexus for reduced activity. Followed. So inhibitory activity, Meissner's plexus. So with this we finished the structures that associated with the wall of gut. So in next class we are going to discuss the digestive glands of the human digestive system. Right, thank you.